Alright, good morning YouTube. This is my first video that I'm going to make, and hopefully I'm going to continue to make, about my business and how it's going. It is 7:44 a.m. January 14th. So basically I've been doing air conditioning for about 13-14 years now. I got my license, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, 2 years ago going on 3. And it has been a ride. It has been a ride. Thankfully, I have been busy. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I've kept steady. So I installed, I want to say for about the first 4 or 5 years, for a company that I was working over here based out of Inglewood. And they were really busy. I wanted to move over to their service side because, as we all know, installing is back-breaking. So I figure if I move over to service, a little bit more lightweight, and we'll go there. But their sales, their service was more of a sales. Their service techs didn't know how to do anything. And just a little FYI, I did go to school, to a trade school for air conditioning. But I stayed with the install. And then I moved over to another company in Irvine. And that was that company was big. And I stayed with their installing crew. But that company was so big that they needed service techs. So they asked me if I knew how to do service. And I was honest with them. I told them I might not be the fastest guy, but I'll get the system working one way or another. So I went over, and basically that company is where I learned about 80% of my service. In that company, I pretty much did everything. I was the go-to guy. Sometimes they'd have service techs that only did service and never no install. So sometimes the solution was an install problem, and I would go and I'd fix it. So it was great. I was at that company, I want to say about another 4-5 years. And I know it's frowned upon, but I was basically working non-stop, Monday through Friday with the company. Saturday and Sunday, I was helping, friends with side jobs or whatever. So I was working non-stop. And, at that company, I was kind of doing the service, the install, laying out guys, because I was a foreman there. Sometimes I'd have about 5-6 houses open, and I'd have to drive job to job, look at the guys, answer any questions, drop off material. So after doing that for so long, I figured I might as well do it myself. I got nothing against any of the companies I've worked for. You know, because I don't want to say, oh yeah, you know, like I thought I could do better or whatever. Because in every company there's good guys, you know, that their management isn't all that great. That's a different story. But guys that install are good guys. So I was just doing so much work and the pay wasn't where I wanted. I said, screw it, I might as well try to take my C20 test and go from there. So, so basically, I set my test date, and what ended up happening was I was still working for the company, and basically at the end I finally decided to put in my 2 weeks of notice. And when on the very last day that I worked for a company, the following week was my test. So I was really nervous about that because I did not study at all for the C20, and I heard that it's extremely difficult. So basically what I ended up doing was I ended up studying the law and the business side, because there's two tests. There's the trade test and a law and a business test. And I ended up studying the law and the business because I said, screw it, at least if I fail, I only fail one and have to come back and do only one test. So I studied the law and the business, went and took my test, and it's all computerized, so it tells you right away whether you pass or fail. And basically, I believe they give you about 2 hours to do it. They give you about 2 hours, so I went in. I finished, I passed, because it tells you right away you passed. But I want to say I finished in about 40 minutes. So I knew I had like an hour and about 15 minutes till the next test. So I was like, I'm going to go out and study for the next test. I went out to my truck, studied my test, and basically, there was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know. So I was like, I'm just going to try to take the test. So I went, took the test, luckily passed it, and been on my own since then. I believe that was August of 2016. So I've been on my own since then. When I originally went on my own, I did have a partner. He was an older guy. He ran. He was in other companies. But unfortunately, that didn't work out because he wanted to grow overnight, and I personally just didn't think it was the way to go about it. So we broke off, and basically the first year, no advertising, no nothing. I literally went to Home Depot's in the morning, early, Because that's when the contractors get there and get all their stuff. So I mainly only talk to contractors. And that's how I got by my first year. It was a lot of just like maintenance work, repairs, a couple installs, but nothing major. That's how I got by my first year. Oh, in my first year, I also got screwed out of about $60,000, but I'll tell you that story later on. Then on my second year, thankfully, on my second year, unfortunately, I did get into an accident. That's why my voice is all scrapey. I do have a trach. And I've had surgery since then, and I need another surgery. But, anyway, my second year, I was kind of in the hospital for a lot of, not a lot. I was in a car accident. I broke my femur bone, got a metal plate, broke some ribs, had like brain trauma. Thankfully, I'm okay. I remember everything because when I was in a coma, a lot of the doctors weren't sure how I was gonna be mentally. So the second year, and same thing, no advertising, no anything. The only thing I do use is Yelp. And I do get a lot of calls from Yelp. But the second year, man, it was great, but I know it could have been better. Because even though I personally wasn't out there working, I have 3 cousins that do air conditioning, so I was still getting by. I was still making it happen one way or another. I remember when I came out of the hospital, I was on a walker. And I was still going to job sites. My uncle would drive me. And I'd go on to new construction jobs in my walker. Anything to get by, basically. But I did notice a lot my second year. I tried to get guys. Unfortunately, they didn't work. So, as of right now, I have basically one full-time lead, one full-time helper, and another part-time helper. And what my goal is to do this year, because I do have 2 vans, is to get 2 crews at least that are working full time. Because like I said, last year I did pass up a lot of guys. A lot of work. So anyway, this I know I'm gonna cut this video a little short because I'm in Hermosa Beach right now. And I'm about to go knock on the door because I told me to knock at 8. But I'm basically gonna try to post at least 1 video a week to start. Hopefully that's some videos of the actual job we're doing, or letting you know how it's going, or if there's any changes I make. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the next one. Thank you.